Manchester United did exactly what they needed to do against a quite frankly awful Wolves side. 4 goals, 3 points, and now 6th in the table. Ruben Amorim's side finally took full advantage of an opportunity, and there's plenty to discuss. Let me run through some key takeaways from that 4-1 win, including Mount, Cunha, and a conversation about our centre-backs. It feels nice to come here after United have got the job done, after United have won the game that they should have won. Should have been the conversation after West Ham. Should have been the conversation after Everton. It wasn't. But we move on. United are now in 6th. I'm going to run through that 4-1 win against Wolves. No, it doesn't mean United are back. No, it doesn't mean that anything really has changed. But that was a banana skin, really, of a game. And United got through it. Let's run through everything from that game. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. What would you say was the biggest takeaway from that match? First things first. United got the job done. And they were professional about it. That's all I wanted United to be last night. I was a little bit frustrated at the fact that, and so was Amorim actually, that we gave them an equaliser. We let them get back into the game, but then we killed them in the second half. We really did. 2-1, 3-1, 4-1. Game, set, and match. Everybody really played well. Let's be honest. And yes, Wolves, I'll be honest, Wolves really are one of the worst teams I've ever seen in the Prem. We could have beaten them 6, 7, 8-1 yesterday. Someone's probably going to put 7 or 8 past them this season. They will. But I wanted United to be professional, and they were. And I have to credit them for that, given how much I criticise them for it when they're not. And United are now in 6th in the league. And it still sounds a bit mad to say that. Like, we all know how our season has gone. We've been here every single game week, and the ups and downs. We're 6th. It's almost funny. I think it really is. And now United have only got 1 defeat in the last 9. That's top 6 form. Drop points there where there shouldn't be drop points, but that's top 6 form. And that is Manchester United's ambition this season. On top of that, only City and Arsenal have scored more goals than us this season. Only City have scored more goals than us in the last 9 games. These 9 games, where we've only lost 1. That was the strategy this season. That was the plan this summer. So right now, while there are plenty of problems, plenty of issues, and hey, I've spoken about all of them really. We're scoring enough. Just need to shore up that defence. Kind of goes without saying. Let's focus on the positives from yesterday and the individuals, and I want to speak about Mason Mount, because I think he deserves a conversation, not just about last night really, but really about his season so far. It feels that United are a better team with Mount in the starting 11. And against Wolves, I think that was probably his best individual performance this season. And this is a player who, so far, let's be honest, his United career has never got going. So many injuries since he's joined. This season, it's almost like, ironically, he's kind of working in the same way that maybe Ten Hag would have wanted him and Bruno to work together in those 2 sort of number 8 roles. Bruno's not number 8 on paper right now, but he's pushing up a lot. But this is the quote that stood out for me. I said it in the live show, I'll say it again now. It just looked like Mason Mount was having fun yesterday. 1-touch passes, the way that he was moving in and out of possession, spotting the run from Bruno, a lovely ball from Bruno, a great finish. Mount was excellent. And I do think United are a better team with him in. And with Mbeumo going to AFCON, I mean, Mason Mount could have been in the starting 11 anyway. But with Mbeumo gone, Mason Mount's guaranteed to be starting every game, and he should be. How Amorim uses Bruno and Mainoo, and whether he pushes Bruno further up and maybe plays Cunha further forward, depending on when Šeško comes back in, I don't know. When everyone's fully fit and firing, and Mount and Cunha, I'll speak about Cunha next, and Mbeumo and Šeško and Bruno, you're actually going to have some quality in the squad. That's what every top team needs, is 2 quality players in each position, and Mason Mount, he's looking good this season, and long may it continue. Now, whilst Mount, I'd say, is flourishing, I'd say Cunha, I wouldn't say he's stumbling, but he looks a bit rusty since he's come back from his injury. And I want to focus on one thing in particular, because Amorim himself has spoken about it, and this is before the Wolves game, saying that effectively Cunha, he knows that Cunha's kind of looking at those numbers. I'm not scoring enough goals. I need to improve that output. And it's probably what he's focusing on too much. And I think you saw that against Wolves. Maybe this has been the case in other games, but for me it was most obvious against Wolves. You can see the shots there. 8 shots. Should have scored, could have scored. Good save. One cleared off the line. Couple of shots over the bar. But it felt like Cunha, for pretty much the majority of the game, was just kind of thinking, I need to score, I need to score, I need to score. Not from a selfish perspective, but probably in his eyes, how he wants to be seen by United. I suppose that is a selfish perspective. And maybe Mbeumo scoring regularly and more goal content. Oh, he got an assist last night. It just kind of feels that Cunha needs to stop thinking about scoring and the goals will come. In Mason Mount talking about enjoying the football, his best game, and I'm glad I got to see that live, because Cunha against Brighton was fantastic. In and out of possession, winning, scoring the goal and then winning a tackle on the edge of his own byline. But Cunha, it feels like he's thinking too much and trying too hard to do the simple things, which therefore make the simple things more complicated. Bit of a vicious circle in that sense. I think if he just relaxes a little bit, I think the goals will come. But if he just keeps trying harder and harder and gets 8-10 shots a game, it might actually get further and further away. Kind of counterintuitive in that sense. Now, something I found interesting in that Wolves game was the central centre-back situation, right? De Ligt has missed the last couple of games. We don't know when he's going to come back. We don't even know what his injury is. But in his stead, Heaven has started both of them. First against West Ham, got the yellow card, was taken off at half-time. He may have seen the second half if he didn't get that yellow card, but he was being protected by Amorim. That game against Wolves, you can see there, completed every pass. Won every aerial duel, won every ground duel. Yes, it was Wolves, but still it's a Premier League team. And he played well. And then I thought this part was in. Well, I didn't really think this part was interesting. I thought it was me, Martinez there. I went a bit too quick. But it's clear that Amorim does trust Heaven and sees him as a potential central centre-back option. And this is what I found interesting. That Martinez came on in the second half. Towards the end, it was Yoro and Martinez who came up. It was actually Yoro who went to the right centre-back position with Mazraoui coming off. And Martinez went into the central centre-back position instead of Heaven. Is this just Amorim sort of testing and looking at his options as who could play the central centre-back? Is this because De Ligt's injury might be longer than we know? No idea. Maguire, still got no idea what's going on there. But I found it quite interesting that Martinez played there. And instead of it being Yoro, who on paper I would probably say is the more likely central centre-back, it was actually Martinez, which I think actually, to be honest, who's best on the ball? It's Martinez, and that's who you want as your central centre-back. But that game against Wolves was what it needed to be. To see United scoring 4, I enjoyed it. To see United putting a team to the sword in the second half, I enjoyed it. To see United go 6th. Only City and Arsenal score more than us. Good. It's a game that can help the momentum. Individual momentum for Mount. A little bit for Heaven. Some confidence to be taken from that. Now you go into the Bournemouth game. And I guarantee if United beat Bournemouth, people are like, oh, Bournemouth are bang out of form. And then, well, we've got Villa after that. And that's, I suppose, where no. Every game's a bloody test. That game was a test. We didn't slip up. We won. We took advantage of the opportunity. Good. Take that into Bournemouth, lads, please.